What's up, guys? It's Mama Deadhead, and I am back with another Fair Friday. You guys know, my favorite day of the week. So, good news. I had previously said that I would do a recap or discussion of 2A, then 2B, then a character breakdown of Nick, as I really wanted to watch season 3, or really all the episodes that I recap back again, so I can do an accurate, discussion on it. But season 3 has been put on Hulu, so I will be continuing and doing 3A and 3B the weeks after that. So, that being said, I wanted to discuss 2A with you guys, and keep in mind this basically lands us on Abigail, and then the ending episode is called Shiva, and it is basically when they go away from the rancher compound that Strand initially takes them to. So 2A, in my opinion, is one of the most important seasons, or part of a season, that the show has had so far, because we see a huge, massive amount of character development. So the characters that I really want to talk about, actually no, let me not get ahead of myself. There's one thing that I do want to say that I thought it was really cool that they put in Fear the Walking Dead that we haven't really got a lot of in the normal Walking Dead show, and that is different types of clothing, like colorful clothing, obviously, different like landscape, different place, but like different ages of people. So typically in The Walking Dead, really in both shows, whenever we see walkers, we see people in pants, we see them, in dull clothing, covering most of their bodies. And I've always said, I know this is a small detail, but especially being in the heat of Georgia, why is nobody in shorts? Why don't you see anybody in shorts? Now, the obvious answer is, like makeup and time and all that kind of stuff, but I've lived in Georgia. I just moved back from Georgia, and there's absolutely no way that if I turned into a walker that I would be a walker with pants and a long sleeve shirt. This would not happen. I would have been in shorts and a tank top. So that being said, there is a portion of this where we see like a local church minister, priest. We see him turn basically his entire church. So we see children, we see people like in choir robes, we see them in their like Sunday best, we see them in colorful clothing, and to me, it was neat to see. We saw kids, we saw adults. So this was like people of all ages, like really young, but like older, so it was really neat to see. So as far as actual characters go, a lot of stuff happens. Now, I ended with Strand in the last video, so I'll start with Strand this time. When we are introduced to Strand in the first season, he is a precise, matter-of-fact person. This carries over into the first part of 2A because it's his boat, it's his way or the highway. In his mind, he is gracious enough to let you on the boat and take you with him. So if you doubt him, bye. Nobody else is allowed to come. So this Strand is different from the person that we see in the last couple episodes of 2A. Because, like I said, up until that point, we see a strong, matter-of-fact Strand. Sorry. And when he gets to that chapel and he sees his boyfriend's truck, that is the first true moment we see him truly like care. We see him vulnerable. We see him like not knowing what to do. He's so precise in everything he does. He always has a plan. And in this case, he sees Thomas's truck and he just lets out this, "Thomas!" Like he's so concerned. And it's the first time we see him truly show like a raw emotion. That emotion of he doesn't know what's happening. And so that was definitely new for his character at that point in time. It was really big. Whenever that happened, I was like, Thomas? Like, who is this Thomas? Like, who could make Strand feel this way? So, some other characters that had some very interesting development is Daniel. And at this point, we know from the first season that he's been through some stuff. Like, he's clearly been through some stuff. But then at the point where, you know, the children walkers come out, he starts going, you know, a little out of it, and we see him unravel, and we see him like regress back to a person that he was before, and like all of these old thoughts and old feelings are like really getting his mind really mixed up. And when this, you know, 2-8 ends, this mid-season finale, this is when he disappears initially, because I kind of count now as a disappearance too. But we see him, you know, light fire to the entire place essentially, and that's it. That's all we see of him. And at this point, we see him talking to his dead wife. He's talking, and there's no one there. So his character just has completely unraveled at this point. And I was devastated when this happened. So, like I said, Daniel up until this point was really my favorite character. And Strand, Daniel was all the way up here. Most of everybody else is like right around here. It's not that I didn't like him, it's just that they were around here. I just love Daniel so much. And then when Strand came into the picture, he was like slowly getting up. So he was like right here. And whenever Daniel was out of the picture, Strand surpassed that. But I still have a great deal of love for both of these characters, even though they don't like each other. And it was the same thing in this season. He was still skeptical. He was still skeptical of the place Daniel was. He still didn't really like Strand. No matter what Strand does, he's not going to be liked. And obviously not now. But back to 2A. Another person that had a massive, 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 massive character development is Chris. And that's because we see Chris not only like unravel, but we see a budding psychopath here. Because we can see after his mother is killed, excuse me here, but he's basically like, fuck it. I am done with this. Like, I didn't want to be with Travis in the first place. I hate this entire situation. I hate these people. These aren't my family. Like, I'm done with them. That's really his feelings on the matter. And we see him towards the end. Actually, the same scene that I've talked about a couple times was also, I believe, a big turning point for his character as well, because we see Madison on the ground with a walker on top of her, like, screaming for help because she's about to die, and he just stands there and looks at her. And Alicia sees this, and he takes this up a few notches by later threatening her. And then obviously later contemplating killing both of them. So we see his character go from like annoying teenager to literally a psychopath in the season. Another character development we see is Travis. And Travis, because he essentially makes his decision, sorry guys, I'm really sick if you can't tell. I have a virus. That's why some of my words aren't coming out right. My brain, not here today guys. I'm so sorry. But Travis at this point, he really makes his decision, and he picks his son. I mean, it's his son, rightfully so. He brings up the argument, you know, he was with Nick through all of the issues that he had. Granted, Nick's issues were with addiction, not trying to kill another portion of his family, but to each their own. So he basically makes a decision at this point, but less development, obviously, than like Chris and Strand and Daniel. Another person that we learn more about is obviously Nick. And Nick, because obviously Thomas's mother has like a pull with him for some reason. For some reason he meets her, and it's just like an automatic, and she falls in, or he falls in with her, and it's just insane how like okay with everything she says is. Like, he's just okay with all of it, and it's weird. He accepts it, and at this point he's basically like, you know, I'm going my own separate way too, and he's in with the dead. He's covering himself in blood, and honestly, it's just wild. Like, that's why I say that season 2A is so important as far as like character development goes, because we see so many characters go through so much. And then obviously it ends with everyone splitting up, people breaking up from the original group. Daniel disappears, Nick goes his own way. We see, you know, Madison and Alicia and Strand go their own way, and everyone at the compound, ranch, whatever you want to call it, gone essentially in a fiery blaze. So it was pretty intense. It was, I don't know, it was a really big season for me. I really enjoyed it. One other smaller detail that I want to just throw in, just my feelings on things. You guys know that I obviously have an attachment to Strand. I love Strand, and I love the actor Coleman. He is a wonderful person. He was so sweet when I met him. But I wanted to talk about Abigail, and I want this to be a question for you guys too. Abigail felt like so much more. I mean, we obviously learn that Strand has a boyfriend. He ends up having to kill him because he's gonna turn, he was bitten. But he really has an attachment to Abigail. And for me, Abigail is life. And I don't mean that in a cheesy way, but I mean like she's really truly a symbol for life. Whether it's Strand's old life or, you know, potentially new life with his boyfriend, how he gets places, but for some reason this boat for me just symbolizes so much more. Like, how do you guys feel about this? Did you not even give it a second thought? Was it, you know, out of sight, out of mind type of deal? Because I still kind of think about Abigail sometimes. Like, it's almost like she was a character in her own right. I'm even calling her she. But yeah, Abigail just feels next level to me. Like, not just an item, but a way of life, if that makes sense. Because obviously if you have that type of lifestyle and you have this huge yacht that's amazing, it's such a different feel from what we've seen normally, if that makes sense. I hope that I didn't do too much rambling in this. Like I said, guys, I have a virus. I really don't feel that well. But it's my favorite day of the week, and I love Fear the Walking Dead. So tell me what you guys think. Did you really enjoy season 2A? And I'm going to be doing season 2B next week, and then 3A, and then 3B, and then I'm going to be talking about Nick. If you have any other things you want me to talk about regarding Fear the Walking Dead, I don't mind breaking up some of these discussions with other topics you guys want to talk about within Fear the Walking Dead. Something else I want to talk about as well. You guys know that I did a fan panel in Atlanta. I live streamed it for you guys. It's back on my channel around Halloween time. I'm really wanting to go to Nashville, and Nashville takes place Mother's Day weekend, my birthday weekend, and I'm really trying to get fan panels for Nashville. So if you could tweet at WalkerStalkerCon and be like, hey, you should bring back fan panels, we really want fan panels, I'll be forever grateful, because I really want to be a part of that again. Even if it's just helping coordinate it, it's something that I would absolutely love to do. I'm super passionate about The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, and these events, they're just, the atmosphere is absolutely amazing. It feels like you just belong whenever you go there. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another Fear Friday. I'm thinking about posting like a journey if I actually do get this started, or they get this started, sorry. And it'll definitely all be like in detailed description on my Patreon, which is always in the description below. So if you guys want to be a part of that, or just look at the free updates that I have on there, link in the description. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, like and subscribe. Bye, guys.